Well, good morning, everyone. I don't hear you. Good morning. Good, and thank you for joining all of us. And I did want to especially thank President Obama and Commerce Secretary Penny Pritzker for teaming up with our foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, to host this groundbreaking event. With over 200 corporations and 50 African countries represented here, this gathering really does represent a new approach to economic development in Africa and a new moment in U.S.-African relations. Since the dawn of Africa's independence movement, America's relationship with the continent has centered on foreign aid and the work of international institutions, particularly the World Bank and the UN. That part of our relationship still is vitally important, but Africa has now developed into a global economic force, and so our relationship must evolve and mature. And that is the purpose of this forum, to recast our relationship as a full, equal, and advanced economic partnership, a partnership that holds as much promise for African countries as it does for America. We have the people in this room to make that partnership a success. So to start off the morning, I would like to invite all of you to take a few seconds to introduce yourself to the person next to you or someone you have not met yet. Well, we can go on with this. This is doing exactly what we want to do. As we all know, whether it's in our families or our businesses or our countries, relationships are what matters. And that's the whole idea here today, to get to know each other, to develop contacts, and to show our mutual respect one for another. And thank you. Clearly, there's a lot to talk about, and there will be more opportunities to continue our conversations. There is so much to discuss because Africa is today's biggest market opportunity in the global economy. And if you think I'm kidding, just look at the numbers. Africa is expected to reach a 5% overall growth rate in 2015. It boasts 6 of the world's 10 fastest growing economies. It registered more than 400,000 new companies in the last year alone, and its middle class, or consumer class, is the fastest growing in the world. The fact is, Africa is no longer emerging. It is here now. As Africa begins a new stage in its journey, we in America want to walk by its side. But we also realize that we have some catching up to do. Foreign investment in Africa has reached record highs, but that the United States is being driven more by its own domestic policies, and we are letting Europe and China go faster than the U.S. And while our exports to the continent are at a record high, it's also true that only 2% of our total exports go to Africa. And that means that we're missing out on a major opportunity to create jobs here at home. In America, there is a disconnect between the reality of the African market and the perception of the African market. And this conference is aimed at fixing that. Countries and companies that ignore the African market do so at their own peril, and that will become increasingly true with each passing year. The business that I own, Bloomberg LP, has offices in 6 countries in Africa, 8 cities, employing more than 160 people, including more than 120 full-time and freelance journalists, and we are growing there. In fact, the first business trip that I took after leaving office in January was to South Africa to help expand our offices both in Cape Town and Joburg. While I was there, we also launched a $10 million training program to increase financial reporting on the continent and help make African markets more transparent. We work closely with African financial institutions, private companies, and central bankers to help them maximize efficiency, mitigate risk, and increase capital flows. And that not only helps the local financial markets, it also helps attract more foreign investment. My foundation has also been investing in Africa for years. We didn't just start helping Africa, we've been doing it for a long time because the research is clear that perhaps the best single investment you can make to spur economic development is to improve public health. In Zambia, for instance, we're working to stop the spread of malaria. In Tanzania, Senegal, Uganda, and Burkina Faso, we're helping to prevent maternal deaths. And in 34 countries, we're fighting to reduce the deadly scourge of tobacco use. All of those efforts are saving lives and also supporting economic development, because the healthier a society is, the more productive it is, and the greater its potential for growth. We're also working to create jobs through training programs in Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda and President Joseph Kabila of the Democratic Republic of the Congo are both here today, and both have been leaders in promoting sustainable farming. And to support that work, we provide the resources and training to help women create independent coffee farming businesses. More than 108,000 women have benefited from this program so far, and if you had a cup of coffee this morning, you are benefiting from it too. Now, if you didn't get much sleep last night, have a second cup. In the decades ahead, I don't think there's any limit to the progress that Africa can make. Imagine for a moment an African labor force that will surpass India's and triple the size of Europe's. Imagine an Africa where extreme poverty as we know it is virtually eliminated, where a consumer class with rising incomes has greater purchasing power, where broadband access stretches from Cairo to Cape Town and all points in between, where climate change policies that protect Africa's coastal cities and farmlands go hand in hand with economic growth, and where people from around the world want to live and work to experience Africa's natural beauty, diverse cultures, and tolerant societies. That is the Africa that Africans want for their children and their children's children. And it's the Africa that all of us can help bring to life if we seize the moment. Based on the incredible energy in this room, I've never been more optimistic about Africa's future. And I know that President Obama and Secretary Pritzker feel the same way. The Secretary deserves an enormous amount of credit for her leadership in pulling this conference together. And it is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to her. Secretary Pritzker.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to all the heads of state and leaders of businesses here with us today. And thank you to Michael Bloomberg for your leadership, and thank you to Bloomberg Philanthropies for your partnership in organizing this forum. I also want to acknowledge my Deputy Chief of Staff, Theo Lecomte, who played the lead role on behalf of the Department of Commerce in putting together this extraordinary event. I have known Michael Bloomberg for over a decade. He's been a great source of wisdom and advice to me, and I've admired the way he led New York City, the way he's run his businesses, and the way he's committed himself and his organization to Africa and its people. It is always a great pleasure to work with him, and as part of the largest gathering of African heads of state ever hosted by an American president, we are both excited to welcome you to this historic event, bringing together a remarkable number of CEOs to discuss business opportunities in Africa. Last year, President Obama traveled to the University of Cape Town to usher in a new chapter of the U.S.-Africa relationship. He called on students there, along with leaders from the 54 distinct countries of the African Union and leaders from the United States, to embrace key tenets of his vision for our alliance, to advance progress in democratic institutions, to strengthen peace and prosperity, to encourage opportunity and development, and to spur economic growth, trade, and investment. As America's Chief Commercial Officer, I feel strongly that this last pillar, the U.S.-Africa economic relationship is fundamental to our mutual peace and prosperity. We know that businesses serve as a key bridge between our continents, but we also share the conviction that the ties of commerce can be stronger, deeper, and more lasting. When I led a trade mission to Nigeria and Ghana this past May, I heard a variation of this message from public and private sector leaders alike. The U.S.-Africa commercial partnership is essential, and the time to do business in Africa is no longer 5 years away. The time to do business there is now. Today, on both sides of the Atlantic, there is a clear mutual desire to deepen our ties of trade and investment, because doing so will spur growth across the United States and the countries of Africa. Investing in Africa will create jobs in Charlotte, North Carolina, and expand the power supply in Ghana because of the $175 million deal signed by SEWW Energy to upgrade Accra's electricity grid, a direct result of our recent trade mission. Investing in Africa will support workers in California and strengthen the health of patients in Nigeria because of the MOU signed by Environmental Chemical Corporation to construct a state-of-the-art cancer institute in Ibadan. Investing in Africa will spur job growth in Cincinnati through Procter & Gamble's $300 million investment in a new manufacturing plant near Lagos. Because when P&G expands in Nigeria and elsewhere, it supports thousands of jobs at home. These deals and investments demonstrate that the time is ripe to work together as partners in a spirit of mutual understanding and respect, to raise living standards in all of our nations, and to address the challenges that impede our ability to develop closer economic bonds. Make no mistake, our economic and commercial partnership is a two-way street. Goods and services exports from the United States to African markets support roughly 250,000 jobs here at home. As Africa's middle class continues to expand, we hope to see our export numbers grow too. And through Select USA, the administration is actively encouraging African companies to increase their presence here in the United States. Closer economic ties and rising demand create ample opportunities for businesses in the United States and Africa to build new partnerships, reach new markets, and support new jobs in the years to come. With each passing day, our commercial connections are deepening, our business bonds are increasing, and our trade partnership is maturing. Yet we have only just begun to scratch the surface. President Obama and the Department of Commerce are ready to write the first pages of the new chapter of our relationship by taking our alliance to the next level. To advance the President's vision for Africa, we are expanding our foreign commercial service presence. These are our economic diplomats on the ground in country that help American businesses navigate each African market. We are doubling the number of commercial offices in Africa with new sites in Angola, Ethiopia, Mozambique, and Tanzania. We're expanding offices in Ghana, Kenya, Libya, and Morocco. And we are returning a foreign commercial service presence to the African Development Bank for the first time in 3 years. The Department of Commerce, along with our partners at the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, is today announcing 10 new trade missions to Africa and 10 reverse trade missions to the United States by 2020. Our National Institute of Standards and Technology is launching the Global Cities Teams Challenge to create teams of cities and innovators working together on issues like air quality, resource management, healthcare delivery, and modern energy grids to utilize the best technology to build smart cities. And to promote U.S. industry engagement in Africa, we have created a one-stop-shop web portal, trade.gov/DBIA, think Doing Business in Africa, where American businesses can learn about African markets, find financing tools, and discover potential projects, contacts, and resources. We want to make doing business in Africa easier for every American company. This is the moment of opportunity. A decade from now, we will look back at this moment as the start of something important, or see a missed opportunity. The choice is up to all of us gathered here today. Today's agenda features conversations on financing and development, energy and infrastructure, good government and public-private partnership, all meant to highlight the choices before us. This historic forum will spotlight successful business models and give you a chance to explore new partnerships, new relationships with colleagues on the other side of the Atlantic. This gathering marks only the beginning, a catalyst for each of us to pursue new deals and new investments as we build the next phase of the partnership between the United States and Africa. One of the highlights of my trade mission to Africa this spring was visiting the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology in Ghana, where young innovators receive the training, mentorship, and guidance needed to take their ideas and turn them into vibrant businesses. These intrepid young Africans want to learn how to build thriving enterprises. If they had access to capital, there would be no limit to their potential. With the speed of technology today and the global reach of communication, these entrepreneurs can build their businesses using only a cell phone, then sell their products around the world. Any young person with a good idea can bring their products to the rest of the globe. At Meltwater, I witnessed what the future of Ghana and the entire continent of Africa will look like if we do everything we can to support young entrepreneurs and continue to build lasting partnerships. These aspiring entrepreneurs are living proof of what Robert F. Kennedy described nearly 50 years ago at the University of Cape Town. They represent ripples of hope. Indeed, every entrepreneur in Ghana, Nigeria, Angola, or elsewhere who starts a business and embraces a new idea represents a ripple of hope for the prosperity of a community. Every student in Morocco, Ethiopia, or elsewhere who earns a degree and joins the workforce represents a ripple of hope for the future of a family. Every business owner in Mozambique, Kenya, or elsewhere who decides to reach new customers by exporting more goods represents a ripple of hope for the growth of a country. And every African leader who embraces greater transparency and market access, speeds business processes, and roots out corruption represents a ripple of hope for greater prosperity for their people and for ours. So together, these ripples of hope will form a torrential current that lifts up all of us on a wave of opportunity. This is our mission today, to work together to promote the future of shared prosperity for both the United States and the nations of Africa. As Faith Mengope, one of the Mandela Fellows, told other young African leaders and President Obama just this past week, and I quote, "Africa is no longer a sleeping giant, but is awake and open for business." With the leadership in this room, we will keep the U.S.-Africa Economic Partnership open for more growth and success. We will keep the United States and Africa open for business, your business. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day.